What's up, everybody? We are here with Pokemon FireRed on the Nintendo Switch. It is finally here after a long week of waiting. After a long week from reveal to release. Boy, weren't we waiting for so long to get this game that I already have on the Switch. But I have it on the Switch now. And because I had it on the Switch, I had an idea for a little bit of a challenge. And that challenge is what I am going to be referring to as the limited level Nuzlocke. And I came up with the idea for this challenge because usually when I play Pokemon FireRed, I often play it with a little bit of enhancement. You know, I mean, obviously, I have my real copy, you know, but I, legally back up that copy, and then I can play it on emulator, and it has speed up and rare candies and PK hex and all this stuff that makes the game experience just so much smoother. But I just bought it on the Switch, and it doesn't have any of that stuff. So I decided to come up with a challenge that works with this Nintendo Switch version. And that challenge is the limited level Nuzlocke. So, the rules of the limited level Nuzlocke are... Let's pull up these rules. So, obviously, main thing is it's a Nuzlocke, so any of your Pokemon faint, they are gone for good. So you got to make sure that your Pokemon all survive all the battles. You can only catch the first encounter of each route. You know, we all know the thing. Dupe's Claws will be in effect, so we won't be getting all the, like, samey, you know, Rattata, Pidgey. You'll only get one of the first encounter of each route. The first unique encounter of each route will be the one that you can capture and add to the team. And then we will go on the more extreme end. There will be no items in battle. That's usually one extra rule that you put on when you're a little more experienced. No items in battle other than held items. However, I will not be playing with level caps. Usually when I do a Nuzlocke, I will play with level caps. But the reason that I'll play with level caps in most Nuzlockes is because I use rare candies to skip grinding. So in order to have that really work, to use rare candies to skip grinding, you need to have level caps so that you don't go over leveled. But in this version, we're not going to have level caps. In this Nuzlocke, we're not going to have level caps. And the reason for that is because we are playing a limited experience, limited level Nuzlocke. And what that means is that the only way that I can level up Pokemon is on the actual trainers in the game. So whatever level my Pokemon end up at from just the trainers in the game are the levels that I have to deal with. I don't know how hard that will actually make the game. So I'm not entirely sure how difficult. I mean, I've done Nuzlockes of FireRed before. I don't have a lot of trouble with it. It's a very basic game. The trainers are very easy, but I feel like limiting the levels and having a lot of trainers that you have to fight is going to make it a lot harder. Another rule is that I have to defeat every single trainer in the game. And so that I don't, like, you know, leave trainer. Like, that could be really easy. Oh, defeat every trainer in the game. We'll just beat the game and then go back and beat every trainer. No. I want to make it a little more tricky than that. I have to defeat every trainer before each gym. So every time I get to a town, whenever I get to a town with a gym, in order for me to progress to that gym, I need to defeat every trainer before that point. And also, I can't progress past a town until I defeat every trainer before that town. So I'll try to have a pretty hard line of where, because the gyms can be a little non-linear at times, but I'm going to try to have it be where it's, you know, you really do have to fight every trainer before each gym. Basically, I'll make the rule that once you arrive in a town, you have to defeat every trainer in that town before you can move on. So, yeah. And yeah, no grinding on wild Pokemon is kind of a main part of it. So I have to kind of limit my experience to what I am fighting against. Hey, how's it going? Happy I caught the beginning of the screen. Have you heard about the IMDb stuff that happened around A Night of the Seven Kingdoms? I have. I was actually considering covering that in one of the discussion streams. What are your thoughts on that? That's some crazy stuff. IMDb ratings and all that. All right, let's actually get into the game itself. Let's get into the run. And I am playing this on the actual Switch. As you can see, look, it's a here's my very cut off Switch because I had to cut it off in a strange way. But this is my Switch screen. So I am playing it on the Switch hardware. So I'm pretty limited to that. No rare candies, none of that fancy stuff. None of that fancy pants stuff there. All right, we all know how the controls work. The little Pikachu. I like the little Pikachu sprite they put on top here. I always felt like Pikachu was saying this dialogue to me. Like the Pikachu was telling me this. Professor Oak. I wonder why they chose Nidoran female as the Pokemon for Professor Oak to have. I'm just going to have the name be my name. But we could name the rival. Does anyone have any names they want for the rival? First one here, get to name the rival. Got any rival names? Anyone just yet? Never really know what to name the rival. David. Why would his name be David? David? They censor it now? They censor what? What do they censor? Oh, if you give him like a dirty name. Does it really? Does it censor it if you give him a dirty name? Doesn't let you? I'm not going to test it out. I don't want YouTube to get mad at me for giving the rival a dirty name. Name him Peekaboo Patrick. Patrick could work because I'm a SpongeBob guy. Name him Peekaboo. So we got David, Peekaboo, and Patrick as the suggestions for the rival name. I don't know. I want to hear a few more suggestions. We got any other rival names here? I mean, this is our, like, main enemy throughout the whole game, so his name is pretty important. Kind of like in Peekaboo. It censors the trainer name because you can transfer it to Switch and it can show the original trainer. Oh, so if you... So, wow, it made it so that you can do that. Hi, welcome to the stream. We're trying to name the rival. I've got a couple of good contenders, but I want to see if there's any more before I go ahead and name them. It's always a strange power the game gave you to name your rival. I always thought that was kind of strange that you could name him. A lot of people would name something rude. Name him U3. No, I want him to have like a normal enough name. I like Peekaboo. I think Peekaboo grew on me. I'll go with Peekaboo. As a reference to Meryl. Alright, Peekaboo. My mortal enemy, Peekaboo. Change my suggestion to Lucas because his hair looks like Lucas. Oh, he kind of like Lucas from Earthbound. Alright, don't worry. You'll get lots of chances to try and name stuff as we get to catching Pokemon. I remember now. His name is Peekaboo. Can't even remember his grandson's weird name. Let's go. Hi, glad I remember Meryl. Yeah, that was originally what people thought Meryl was named. Peekaboo. Gotta get my free potion. Item search. Oh yeah, there's also the mailbox. There's no mail here. Withdrew 1 potions. Free potion. All boys leave home someday. It said so on TV. What a sentimental beginning there. Like, if you think about it, it's like they already had a conversation about you becoming a Pokemon trainer. And that's just her accepting it. Then you go there and... Hey, wait, don't go out. I'm gonna pick Charmander because... Fire types are just better for strategy and all that, because there's not a lot of fire types, and they, it will do me well. It's mostly a strategic thing. My usual, like, go-to pick on a casual playthrough is actually Squirtle, but we're in it to win it. We're going to get lots of good water types. You know, Gyarados is pretty much guaranteed. All sorts of things. Lots of water types. Not too many fire types. Like, if not Charizard, what fire types are there? Arcanine. Magmar's not in this, because that's a leaf green. My brain isn't all too familiar with FireRed. Are these all Kanto? Yeah, FireRed is Gen 1. FireRed is the original 151. You do get Gen 2 Pokemon after the champion, but for most of the run, we're only going to be dealing with Gen 1 Pokemon. Though the post-game will be pretty difficult, so there will be Gen 2 Pokemon if I get that far. It always bothered me how few fire types were in this game. Yeah, well, at least you're not a fan of ghost types. There's only 3 ghost types, and dragon types, only Dratini. Only the Dratini family. And then ghosts, it's only the Ghastly family. So it's basically only 1 ghost type. You know, they say 3 ghost type, but they all evolve into each other. So functionally, there's really only 1. I'm going to set my... Also, my text speed to fast. Battle scene. Yeah, we can battle scene on. Battle style. Oh, battle style set mode. Don't want to have shift mode. That's too easy. Button mode help. LR, L, I guess. Oh, I guess that's so I won't accidentally pull up the, like, help button. I don't need the help button. What text box do I want? Not a lot of options for the text box. Hey, you have the classic one. There's quite a few fire types more than today's gen. In Gen 1? Gen 1 did not have a lot of fire types. And also, the main reason I picked Charmander too is not so much that the fire types are... that there's not a lot of fire types, it's that they're later in the game too. Like, there might be as many fire types as there are... Well, I guess electric types are kind of far in the game too, unless I happen to get Pikachu in Viridian Forest, which would be pretty unlikely. Compared to Water and Grass, not a lot. I think the worst was Gen 4. Yeah, Gen 4 had, like, no fire types. In Diamond and Pearl, it was literally just Ponyta, unless you chose Chimchar. Yeah, what about the fire? Alright, what are we naming it? What are we naming our Charmander? What do we want to call the guy? Any name ideas for our Charmander? Never been good at naming Pokemon. don't know what I should call the guy. What should I name you? FireRed. It's a male. Yes, it is a guy. FireRed. I think we can. I think we can come up with something else. Let's see. Bart Simpson. Nah. Flameo. What about Hothead? I like Hothead. I'll go with Hothead for now. Apocalypse. Apocalypse. I like that. We'll go with Apocalypse. Because hopefully it'll be the apocalypse for my opponent, not me. Apocalypse. I was spelling it weird. Nope. Apocalypse. There we go. Apocalypse. Hothead Harry. Harold. I want to save Harold. Apollo could be a good one, but it's kind of niche for specific Pokemon. I feel like Harold could apply to a lot of Pokemon. So I'll keep that one in the back pocket. And then, oh, Peekaboo got the Squirtle. So even better that his name is Peekaboo. And then, yeah, the first battle. Is there a chance you can wipe on the first battle? Technically, Nuzlocks don't begin until you get Pokeballs. So, like, I'm going to go... You have to go on Route 1 to get the Oaks Parcel to get the Pokédex. But that doesn't mean that your first encounter is your encounter for the Nuzlocke. I would like to win the battle, though, because even though the Nuzlocke technically doesn't start, this is valuable experience. A Nidoking would be a good Herald. You know what's funny? If I do get Nidoran, if I get Nidoran male, I actually would trade it for a Nidoran female. The way that I approach Nuzlocke in-game trades is basically if you happen to get the Pokemon that's the trade request as a encounter, I count it as you can just in-game trade it, and it just counts as the encounter of where you were when you got the Pokemon that was traded, not that it's the encounter of the place where the in-game trade takes place. That makes sense. So if I got a Nidoran, I actually would trade it because there's a Nidoran male to Nidoran female trade in this game. And the reason I would do that is because Nidoking and Nidoqueen, they're the same type. They're very similar Pokemon. Obviously, they're not exactly the same. But the Nidoqueen would gain more experience. So I actually have to look out for in-game trades in this run. Try to utilize some in-game trade Pokemon because traded Pokemon gain more experience. I remember One E Plays lost the first battle in their red playthrough and they got furious. Yeah, how likely is it to lose the first battle if you just hit the attacking moves? Isn't it more likely to lose the first battle if you have Bulbasaur specifically? Or like one of the Pokemon is more likely to lose? I guess if you just do... Maybe there's some things you can do with like Growl or whatever. I usually just will spam the base normal type attack. We actually do have to be kind of precise. I am a little nervous picking Charmander because of Brock, because we do have very limited level ups. I might need to like hope for Mankey. Like if I don't get Mankey, am I kind of cooked, or will Charmander be able to make it to, what is it, level 12? Level 12 is where it gets Metal Claw. So, yeah, so any of these encounters don't count. But I also can't fight them because I can't grind on wild Pokemon. So I'm not allowed to fight any of these Pokemon. I'm only allowed to fight the Pokemon that counts as an encounter. And if I do accidentally knock it out, like I will gain the experience. There's nothing I can really do about that. But I guess there is an argument of like, is there a time where the experience would be more valuable than the encounter? And then I would definitely, you know, be able to get experience off of an encounter. But I could only do that by sacrificing the actual encounter. So I don't think I'll be invoking that strategy. But I cannot battle Pokemon that are not. Butterfree with Confusion can take out Brock. But one Rock Tomb and I'm done. Like, I'm finished. If I have a Butterfree and I lose, yeah, that's dangerous. That's really dangerous. I believe you that Butterfree with Confusion can take out Brock. Does it one shot? Is it like does it just one shot Onyx? Can it one shot them both? Yeah, I wonder how experienced I'm gonna have to be to really do this challenge. I even thought if I would like up the ante of the challenge, like do something like have it be where I can't use Pokemon centers or stuff like that. I'm going to move my little camera. I feel like I'm so low in the camera. Let me try to fix that. I don't love where my camera is right now. Is this me? Yeah, there it is. How low does it go? It only goes that far. Hold on, let me fix this. Oh, that just, it's still there. Well, I'll just adjust my thing. Just thought I was a little too high up. Yeah, that's better. More centered there. Okay. Good point about the Butterfree with Confusion. Yeah, I and also like I think unless I get a Mankey. So what should I do? I should do an encounter up and down. Let's look at the map. Yeah, so this is just Route 2. So I have this encounter and this encounter. So if I get Pidgey and Rattata, I have a chance of having the encounter on Route 22 be Mankey. Which at least, I don't think Mankey gets a fighting move. Does Mankey get a fighting move by Brock, like, feasibly? Because all I got are a couple of bug catchers. It's very narrow. Like, by Misty, I got, like, some options. You know? I got some options. Might need to go out of my way to get Paras. Another thing about this challenge that'll make it hard is Diglett. I can't get Diglett until right before Badge 3. Another difficult part of this challenge, too, is that I have to beat the gym leaders before I move on from their town. So, like, for example, for Misty, in most runs, you'd be able to go up here and get, like, an Oddish or something. How should I do it? Like, do paths that are next to the city count? Do I have to do all of those trainers first? Because not every gym leader opens up a roadblock. I'm going to have to figure out what I should have the rules be. My bad, it's a Diglett Cave or Route 2. Oh, no sweat. Yeah. It's because Diglett Cave, you go back. I can't access it until... Yeah, you go to this Diglett Cave first and then go back. You love Parasect? Should it be my Mount Moon encounter? I can manipulate it to where Paras is guaranteed to be the Mount Moon encounter. That is possible. Can be done. So let's do... How can you do that? How can I do what? What did I do? Hey, you came from Palatown? You know Professor Oak, right? His order came in. I always thought this was so odd with the, like, Pokemart, where... This is such a strange part of the game because, one, it requires you to go into the Pokemart to beat the game. It's the only time where you're required to go inside of a Pokemart. Oh, how can I manipulate it to get a Paras? Because in Mount Moon, in the in-between sections, if you go down the ladders, there's a middle floor between the top and the bottom floor of Mount Moon. And in the middle floor, the encounter is only Paras. But if I do that, I lose out on... There's a 6% chance of getting Clefairy. And Clefairy is kind of a busted encounter. Clefable is very powerful in this game. I will get Snorlax later, so maybe Snorlax outclasses Clefairy anyway. But also at the same time, if I go into Mount Moon, I could just skip the encounter altogether in Mount Moon, and then I could get later encounters where if I get Geodude and Zubat later in the game... Oh, but you can't get Paras anywhere else. Oh, you can get in the Safari Zone, but it's not super likely. So I'll always have a chance of getting Paras as the encounter anyway. But if I caught Geodude and Zubat later, I would be able to go back and have a better chance at getting Clefairy. Or I can just cut my losses and go into the middle section and just 100% definitely get a Paras. So I can manipulate it to get a Paras, but I don't think I can manipulate it to get a Clefairy. Unless Clefairy is a higher level than some other Pokemon there, then I can do the Repel trick. If I have the right levels on me. I'll have to check that, but that'll be later on. Alright, let me have a little dialogue. How is my old Pokemon? You must be talented as a Pokemon trainer. I hope so. For this challenge. Ah, it's the custom Pokeball. I had it on order. I always was curious to see what the custom Pokeball was. I always like other kinds of Pokeballs, and Pokemon does so few other kinds of Pokeballs. Alright, we get the Pokedex. Blah, 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 blah. I received the Pokedex from Professor Oak. And now I have Pokeballs. So now that I have Pokeballs, that means that I am officially in the Nuzlocke challenge. I'll borrow a town map from my sis. I'll tell her not to lend you one. Ha ha ha. Not very nice. It's not very nice. It's gonna tell her not to lend me one. I bet she will lend me one. The lesser known rival sister. Grandpa asked you to run an errand? Gee, that's lazy of him. Here, this'll help you. And then you get the town map. Not that I'll really need the town map. I mean, I guess I might if I'm gonna like map out encounters. Town map might actually be useful at some point. So I'm kind of glad I picked it up. The best rivals are not the nice ones. Yeah, you want to feel... Alright, that's the first encounter. I wanted to see if I could get the first encounter outside. Alright, Pidgey. Do we have like a chance of one-shotting with a crit if I use Scratch? No, right? Okay, now I have a chance of one-shotting with a crit, so... I should just hope that one of the Pokeballs works. That'd be terrible to just fail this encounter. It's not likely, though. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we're good. We're good. Alright, so that's the first encounter, Pidgey. What Pidgey will mostly... Oh, I didn't give it a name. I forgot that I'm giving them names. I guess Pidgey's just Pidgey. For now. That was a mistake. Alright, well this doesn't count. I have to run from this one. Okay. Okay, so I want to get my next encounter above. Because that way I have a chance of getting a Mankey. I don't know how helpful Mankey will be for Brock. We'll just have to see. Yeah. Pokemon catching tutorial. Always with the Pokemon catching tutorial. The old man used the Pokeball. They made a whole back sprite just for this dude. And an animation of him throwing the Pokeball. Just for this little part. Are there any other times where you see a back sprite that isn't yourself? I guess if you connect... No, because if you connect, it would just be the back sprite of another protagonist, right? Alright. Is there anything else that I should, like, get here? I guess there was another, like, free potion somewhere. I think it's on Route 1, whatever. Just a potion. Can't use items in battle anyway. Oh, there's another potion. Oh, I should buy more Pokeballs. Just to guarantee my encounters. Or not guarantee, make them more likely. And no Premier Ball. I didn't need to buy it in 10. I'm so used to buying Pokeballs in 10s because of Premier Ball. I'm almost certain Mankey learns a fighting type move because they weren't there in the original. They added them to balance it, I'm pretty sure. If I get Mankey as the encounter, I'm gonna check. But if I don't get it as the encounter, I don't really have a chance. Well, it doesn't really matter if I don't get it as an encounter. Oh, you know what I should do? I should get the Viridian Forest encounter first. Because this grass might have Caterpie. So if my Viridian Forest encounter is a Caterpie... No, I want to get my encounter here. Because it could be a Caterpie here. Which means that in Viridian Forest, I'm more likely to get Pikachu. Which would be great for Misty. So I'd rather... Because I'd like to get... If I get Rattata here, I'm more likely to get Mankey. But if I get Caterpie here, I'm more likely to get Pikachu. I'd say I'll go with the more likely to get Pikachu. Because Pikachu would make Misty pretty trivial. Whereas Charmander might be able to handle Brock. Oh, Weedle. Yeah, Weedle is the more common one. Caterpie is leaf green. So Weedle is... So this makes me more likely to get a Pikachu. Not really by a lot. Oh my goodness. Do I have a chance of knocking it out? Don't poison me. No poison. No, of course it poisoned. Of course it poisoned. Oh wait, that's so bad. Wait, that's so bad. Because now... Because poison can knock you out outside of battle. That's already put me in trouble. On a Weedle? We losing the run to a Weedle, guys? What? We're losing the run to a Weedle. We're losing the run to a Weedle, guys. If this doesn't catch... String shot. Is that another chance for me? I gotta hit it. I gotta hit it. Is that game? No way. This is awful. I might just wipe to a Weedle. If I lose any encounter, I'm just gonna start it over. I'm just gonna pack it up. No way. I'm losing to a Weedle. I'm gonna lose to a Weedle. And it poisoned the Pidgey. Alright, if this doesn't catch, we're packing it up. We're packing it up. We're packing it up. We're packing it up. No, it's String Shot. We got another chance. We've been given a second chance. Oh no. If this doesn't catch, we're done. Another String Shot? If the Pidgey goes down, I'm just gonna be done. I'm not gonna like let, even though Pidgey probably won't be super useful. If he uses String Shot, I got 2 more chances. This Weedle better carry you through the entire game. It's gonna end my whole game. It's over. It's over. We lost to a Weedle. Let's see if we actually... Wait, let's see if we actually catch it. Let's see if we just wipe to the Weedle. No, we wipe to the Weedle. We wipe to the Weedle. Well, that's attempt 1, guys. That's attempt 1. Okay. All right. Wow. Alrighty then. I'm actually going to... I'm gonna try something. I'm actually gonna end the stream, but I'm gonna bring it right back. So just stay tuned if you're watching right now. It's gonna come right back. I'm just gonna test something. I've been having some technical difficulties lately, so I'm just going to test something out and see if it helps. All right, so I will just be right back.